Hello, Jeff Minier with Shiloh Baptist Church of Bowie, Maryland. We're continuing to chase through the New Testament, the various times that God commands his people to do good. We've looked at 1st and 2nd Timothy, and we're now in the book of Titus. Paul, the apostle, was writing to Titus, whom he'd left in the island of Crete, to finish the work that they had started together. There's something special about the culture in Crete. Paul says, even one of their own prophets has said, Cretans are always liars, evil brutes, lazy gluttons. This testimony is true, therefore rebuke them sharply, so that they may be sound in the faith, and will pay no attention to the Jewish myths or to the commands of those who reject the truth. Now it sounded like name calling. He's quoting one of Cretan's own prophets. Cretans are always liars, evil brutes, lazy gluttons. I think if you wanted to say it today and try to say it in an objective way, not in a way that sounded like name calling, Cretans are untrustworthy and irresponsible. They live by anger and they excuse losing their temper all the time. They live by how they feel. They live for instant gratification. Does that sound like a culture you know? So the Apostle Paul, through this book, writing to Titus, pastor who's over pastors, setting up churches, he will mention 4 or 5 times through this book the need for believers to do good. So if you live in a self-centered, angry, untrustworthy, irresponsible, live for instant gratification culture, the believers need to, their primary witness be, to devote yourself to doing what is good. Chapter 2, where we'll look for just a second today, he is telling Titus how Titus needs to train the various age and gender blocks of the church family how to live out their faith. What Christianity should look like for older men. What it should look like for older women, what it should look like for younger women, especially as they get married. You must teach what is in accord with sound doctrine. Teach the older men to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-controlled, sound in faith and love and in endurance. Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers, not to be addicted to much wine, but to teach what is good in that beautiful, noble, sacrificial way. Then they can train the younger women to love their husbands, love their children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, to be kind. That is that practical, agathos good. To be subject to their husbands so that no one will malign the word of God. So you need elder men and elder women of character who are training the younger women. The older women are to teach what is good, beautiful, and noble things, teaching the younger women to be kind, practically helpful. That is what you are teaching, something noble. Similarly, one simple phrase here for teaching teenagers through early 20s for men. Similarly, encourage the young men to be self-controlled. Teach the younger men to be situationally aware, so that in the middle of having fun, in the middle of a game, in their sports, in their work, in their whatever they're doing, to be more aware of their surroundings than just how they feel right now, what the competition feels like. Are they getting their job done? Get them thinking bigger and how their responses are affecting other people. That appears to be a primary thing Paul thinks young men need. I, of course, agree with him. And these shifts. He has one phrase, what you teach the young men, and then he's teaching Titus, because it's not just what you tell young men, it's what you do with young men. Similarly, encourage the young men to be situationally aware, self-controlled. Titus, in everything, set them an example by doing what is good. That noble, sacrificial, that investing good into others In everything, set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching, show integrity, seriousness, soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed, because they have nothing bad they can say about us. He's saying two things to Titus here. On one hand, encourage them. Bossing around a teenager and a 20-year-old won't get you very far. But encouraging them. Get alone with them and encourage them to take one step forward at a time. Challenge them gently, lovingly, purposefully. Challenge them to step forward. And then take them with you while you go out to help your neighbors. When you know there's a widow who needs a roof done, gather all the teens and young 20s to come put on a roof with you. Two things immediately going on there. Guys will periodically stop at Starbucks to have a coffee together. But that's not how you begin a friendship with a guy. Girls can do that all the time. But if you want to begin a friendship with a guy, go do something together. Go play golf, go play softball, go do something. You smash your thumbs putting on a new roof for a widow, and that'll be a memory the guys will hold for months. In everything, set them an example by doing what is good. Well, unless you brought them with you, they'll have no idea you did anything good. So, as you look at investing with boys, with teens, with young men in their 20s, encourage them to be situationally aware at all times. Help them to think bigger than just what they're experiencing, what they're feeling. And take them with you as you go invest in other people. You may find that they fall in love with investing in other people. Paul's teaching, Christ's teaching through Paul, that we need to be looking at investing regularly, and sometimes that investment is going to mean taking them with us as we invest in others. Join with me in praying. Lord, in a time of COVID, in a time of trying to keep safe social distancing and wearing masks, which can be a challenge to talk through, to be understood, how can we still minister to others in their need, to be helpful, to do good? Pray with me about that. Thank you for joining me today.